hear me? Hey, everybody. How is everyone? It's been so long since we've done a public call for the list. I'm so excited to be hanging out with you. We hang out on the podcast a lot. We used to hang out on Facebook Live quite a bit. Hi. Oh, good. Yeah, pop in the chat box. Hey, Christy. And or the Q&A box. You can say hello, tell me where you're calling in from. And we're gonna get to all the things, but I just want to remind you, I'm gonna be doing Q&A throughout. So if you have any questions about anxiety, if you have any questions about stress, overwhelm, self-doubt, anything that's coming up for you right now, feel free to put those questions in either the chat box or the Q&A box, either one, and I will answer all of them. And if you're joining and you're thinking, I don't have too much time, I'm going to be sending out a recording as well. So don't worry about that. I'll send it out as soon as I get it. It'll probably be later this afternoon. So that will be coming. So for those of you who are new to me or new to my work, I'm Kelly McCormick. And I'm so glad that you're here and that we're getting to hang out a little bit. There is a password. Hang on. Let me see. Do you need the password? 376914. 376914 is the password or the passcode. Oh. Okay. Did you need that for something? Let me know if you needed that for something, if you're locked out of something. But 376914 is the passcode if you need it. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's try this again. So I'm Kelly McCormick. I am a life coach. I am a yoga teacher. I am a meditation teacher in training. And I'm so excited to be welcoming you in. We're just going to hang out for an hour. And like I said, I'm going to take all of your questions. So whatever questions you have about anxiety, about stress, feel free to pop them in either the chat box or the Q&A box. I'll answer everything. This is going to be pretty low key. I'm going to share a little bit about what we're up to in the Fierce Calm Project and how we're handling all of this together this month. We're going to talk about what the Fierce Calm Project is, why the Fierce Calm Project is fun and important. We'll do some more Q&A. I'm going to share some bonuses and some brand new things that we're doing in the Fierce Calm Project with you if that's helpful. So, all right, more people are coming on in. Welcome, everybody. So listen, to start, as everybody's kind of coming in, and we'll give everybody some time to pop any questions and stuff into the chat box and Q&A. I want to invite you to just take a seat. You can see I'm seated on the floor. This has been my favorite place to work these days, is on the floor of my office. So I want to invite you to take a seat and just take a few moments. We're going to take a couple deep breaths here together to transition from whatever you've been doing this morning, the start of this afternoon, this week, this summer. I want to just give you a few minutes to transition from wherever you've been into this space and to just invite you in to creating a sense of space for yourself, a sense of stillness. We're going to start generating just a little bit of calm. So if you can, go ahead and close your eyes if you're not driving or doing anything like that. Go ahead and close your eyes down just briefly. And I invite you to take in, let's start with the first deep breath. And inhale really slowly and deeply, starting down in your belly, and let your lungs fill all the way up to the tippy top under your collarbones. So deep inhale. And then pause at the very top of that inhale where you feel that breath kind of right under your collarbones there. And then slowly and completely exhale. And then exhale a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more until you're all the way into the emptiness of that exhale. Let your body naturally breathe that next inhale in as it's ready. Just inviting you to slow the breath down a little bit here. And then again, exhale slowly and completely. Think about starting right under your collarbones, and like a tube of toothpaste, you're going to squeeze all of the breath all the way through the top and mid lobe and base lobe of your lungs, all the way into your belly. Let's take 2 more deep breaths like that. Last one. Beautiful. And then if you have your eyes closed, just slowly blink them back into the room, blink them back open. And we start this way because I want to really invite you into this space in a transition, not in a like, okay, here's the next thing to do, or here's the next thing to check off my list, but as a welcoming into this space and really like consciously bringing your body, bringing that unit of your mind and your heart, right, with your by incorporating your body with this into this moment. So, how is everybody? They've had a few more join. Hello. Hello, hello. So again, I'm Kelly McCormick. I am the host of the Transforming Anxiety podcast, and I am the founder of the Fierce Calm Project, which we're going to be talking about a little bit today. I'm going to give you a little tour of the Fierce Calm Project so you can see what that's about. And again, feel free throughout, or you can ask any questions, whether it's something you're personally dealing with and up against, whether it's something that you're wondering about, anxiety related, stress related, relaxation related, peace, calm related, whether it's about the work that we do around here and you have a question about finding out more about that. I'm going to try to give you as much information in this short and sweet call as possible. And again, I just want to invite you to take this time as a little bit of self-care and to think about this as some space for yourself. So let's first talk about, why do I call it the Fierce Calm Project? What is Fierce Calm? And what am I on a mission to help people create in their lives? There's this, I heard a teacher talk about it this week, that it's not, we don't find balance, right? We don't like hit this perfect place of balance and then hold that. We're constantly balancing, right? It's this practice, it's this lifestyle, it's this keep showing up to keep balancing, right? That's the practice, is the balancing, not balance, but balancing. And I think there's a balancing practice between the fierce, right, that implies some effort and some commitment and some perseverance, some dedication, right? There's a ferocity to showing up and doing this work. And like I said, there's an effort to it. But we're balancing that with the calm, with the surrender, with the relaxation, with the peace. And in the work that we do around here, it's a constant balancing of this fierce effort with this calm surrender, and knowing when we need to turn up the heat on one or the other to strike that alignment, right? That click within ourselves where we're feeling like our best selves, where we're feeling supported, empowered, right? Confident, grounded, whatever the right word is or the right feeling state that you're needing to cultivate for that moment, for that situation. I think we're living in a wild time. We're all on this wild ride together, and there's so many questions about how to show up for our families, for our jobs, to take care of our homes, which we are so intimately a part of these days, this home adventure that we're on, how to care for our friends and our extended family that we aren't getting to connect with nearly like we did, our communities, right? Our cities, our country, but also this state of connecting with ourselves and prioritizing ourselves and coming back home to what do I need, right? And like I said, we're all kind of on this wild journey of figuring out, right? Of digesting, of processing, of understanding. And there's this approach of fierce calm to all of that. How can I bring the effort? How can I bring the surrender? How can I show up fiercely? But also, how can I ground in? How can I find a sense of calm with all of that? So that is where Fierce Calm came from. And I call it the Fierce Calm Project because this is ongoing work, right? This is a lifestyle, it's a journey. This isn't a one and done. This isn't a here's the magic bullet, here's the quick fix, here's the just do this and everything's going to be fine. It's a path, and it's a path that we walk together in this group with community, right? With group coaching calls, with guided meditations, fierce calm talks. We're going to talk about that a little bit more here in just a minute. We're introducing a book club. All of these aspects, there's learning, there's some DIY aspects to it of really, taking this work and making it yours, integrating this into your life, because there is no cookie cutter approach to fierce calm. There is no cookie cutter approach to transforming anxiety, to understanding stress, to overcoming overwhelm. It's important that we all take this and integrate it into the details of our lives, to our families, our work, our homes, our wants, our dreams, our desires for ourselves. So really encapsulating all of that sense of fierce, that sense of calm. Why don't, and more of you are joining, I welcome you in. I'm so glad that you're here. I hope everybody's having a great week and that we're just finding some space and some time together here. If you have any questions for me, whether it's about anxiety, whether it's about this work, go ahead and pop them into the chat box or the Q&A box, either way. Let's see. Okay, first question. Yeah, this is a common one for a lot of us right now. This has to do with upcoming school year, right? How do we handle, it looks like, these decisions, the uncertainty? Yeah. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about making decisions with school and doing this in from a place of fierce calm, right? The truth of this is, the truth with most decisions in our life, and we can see this collectively in this situation that we're all finding ourselves in right now, there is no right decision, right? And like I said, this is true of most decisions in our life. There is no hard and fast, this is the right one, this is the wrong one. They're just different decisions. And what creates so much anxiety for us, what creates so much stress for us, is when we kind of make one decision, but then we keep wondering about the other option or the other options, the ones that we said no to, and that we didn't go all in here. We're like, but maybe this was better. Constantly comparing, we're constantly wondering, right? And we're looking at, how can I make this the right one? How can I be sure? And the truth of it is, we need to let go of the idea of right and wrong. We need to go all in on whatever it is that we decide. And this school year, these decisions around, are we going back? And I know all the districts across the nation, there's so many different options and so many different decisions to be made here. But, is it all in person? Is it hybrid? Is it all virtual? Do I pull them out all together? Do I homeschool? Do we go to a different school? Do we find a private school that's handling things differently, right? Just know there is no right answer. There's whatever the best decision is for you and your family. And I invite you to make that decision and fully commit to it for the sake of your own well-being, for your own groundedness. When you go all in and you just know, like, this is what we've decided, we're going to take these other options off the table, follow that to the end of the road, right? Allow yourself to fully commit there and eliminate the wondering, the confusion, that indecision that comes up when we're constantly going back and comparing. Okay. I hope that helps with that a little bit. All right. What do you feel is the best way to access calm? Oh, this is such a good question. And I think this is different for everybody. However, I think there are a few avenues towards calm that are pretty universal for all of us. So all of the work that we do in the Fierce Calm Project, you'll see it comes from a few different angles. One is by really understanding what's going on in your mind, checking in on your mindset, checking in on how you're thinking, checking in on the belief systems that you hold and the belief systems that are driving how you show up, what you do, what you want, right? When we really understand what's going on in our mind and how that's creating our reality, then we've got some really good information about where we are or aren't already creating calm. If we are, we know to practice more of that. If we aren't, we maybe know here's a few places where I could challenge, where I could shift, where I could start to crowd that out and introduce something new on purpose, right? So if there's thoughts, like to tie in the school example that we just talked about, if there's thoughts about, I don't know if I'm making the right decision, maybe the other decision was the better decision, just noticing how those thoughts, how that mindset shows up, how that makes you feel, how that makes you act, what sorts of things you say, what sorts of things you do when you're thinking that way. So that's one avenue towards calm. Another avenue that towards calm that's super important is using your body. Most of us who tend towards anxiety, who tend towards stress or overwhelm, have a lot of energy coursing through our bodies because we're constantly wondering, we're constantly trying to decide, we're constantly trying to control. Don't have any control freaks around here, right? We're constantly up about like, okay, what is it? What can I do? What can I fix? What can I make happen? How can I be productive? We've got all of this anxious energy spinning and churning through our bodies. So another great avenue towards calm is to move your body, right? Maybe that's going for a walk. Maybe it's doing something even more active, like going for a run, doing an aerobics class, practicing yoga, right? But utilizing your body to let that energy funnel through, channel through, and have an outlet. So then you can sit down and find some calm. So just to give you kind of an analogy, in the, old yogis, ancient yogis in India, the whole yoga practice that we think of in the West, which is all the postures, right? All the crazy, changing yourself into a pretzel postures that we think of as yoga here in the West, all of those movements were created to move the body so that the yogi could sit down and be quiet and meditate. So all of that was the practice to channel and funnel that energy out of the physical body so that there was some stillness. So this is such a great avenue to create calm. Then when you start using both together, when you're really aware of how you're thinking, when you're aware of the belief systems that are spinning around in your mind, when you're aware of just like, what does your mind get hooked on, right? What are the triggers that come up for you where your mind spins and wonders and just churns over and over again? When you're aware of all of that, or at least some of that. We're not going for perfection here. When you're aware of that, and you can incorporate the element of the body, right? When you can use your body to move some of that energy, when you're doing both of those things in a really intentional and conscious and purposeful way on a regular basis, you're moving yourself towards calm consistently, right? This is the practice. Now, for all of us, all of that's going to look a little bit different, right? There are different thoughts, there are different belief systems that are at work in there that are maybe creating feelings of stress or of anxiety or of overwhelm or of self-doubt. So finding out, I call it the thing that is your thing, kind of the theme and variations that are going on for you, and then adding in, how do you like to move your body? What is important to you? And this doesn't have to be strictly like super vigorous exercise. I think there's a lot of people who really crave fresh air and the outdoors, right? They really crave connecting with nature in some way. And that in and of itself is a powerful way to incorporate the body, right? There's ways to incorporate all five senses so that we're bringing the body along for the ride. So however it feels best to incorporate the body and to really be inquisitive and curious about what's going on in our mind, when we do all of that together, and like I said, make this yours, then you're on the path towards creating and really accessing that calm that we all have. It's all in there. It just gets piled up. The to-do list, right? With, I need to be productive. I'm supposed to show up like this. Here's all the expectations. Here's all the cultural conditioning of like what it means to be, fill in the blank, right? Successful, a woman, a great mom, a wife, whatever that looks like, right? That all gets piled up onto our calm. It's in there. We just need to do some excavating to find that. So hopefully that helps a little bit. All right, to go back to the decision making, how do you get clarity around a decision? Yeah. So this kind of goes back to the there is no right or wrong decision. I mean, we could do things like, here's the pros and cons of both. Here's what I really want in this situation. Like, again, to take the school example, one of the things that I'm having a lot of families really ask is, what do I really want and need this semester from school? Some families really need childcare. Some families really need support from the educational staff and system in their district. Some families, their top priority is to maintain lockdown, right? And to keep themselves as safe and as isolated and quarantined. So it's like really finding out, what is your why? What is behind the decision that you're making, and understanding like, what's the most important thing for me here, right? And checking in with that, and ask yourself, I always joke that as a coach, I could kind of give you like a cassette tape of me just asking why, because it usually takes a few layers. Ask yourself why. And then when you get that answer, ask yourself why again. And then when you get that answer, ask it again. Ask it until you really get down to the root of what's most important, because that is usually kind of a surprising and maybe like distant idea from where you started, but that's what's really driving it. So understand the why behind what you're doing. And from there, remind yourself there is no right or wrong here. There's what feels best and what most aligns with what we want here. And we're just going to go all in with that. So on the getting clarity, I would say ask why until you can't ask why anymore. All right. I hope that helps a little bit with that. Okay. Keep popping your questions in because I will keep answering them. I want to give you a quick little tour of what the heck I'm talking about here. So let's look at, here's the Fierce Calm Project. This is what it looks like when you first log in. This is a welcome video here where I just welcome you in to the program. Over here is where I put some announcements and different things that are coming up. And then you see here, part of the work that we do in Fierce Calm is each month We take a specific topic, we take a specific concept or a specific struggle, and we go all in on that. We explore it from all different angles. So you can see some of the things that we've done here this year so far. February, we talked about judgment. In March, we talked about personal protocols. And what I mean when I say personal protocols is if you've ever tried to follow somebody else's diet plan or somebody else's workout routine or somebody else's daily schedule or bullet journal, it could be anything, right? But if you've ever just taken somebody else's plan and tried to make that work for you, it's usually either not fun or it's like 75% of a good fit, but there's this other 25% that you're just like, I don't know, it's just not quite right for me. With the personal protocol, budgeting is another big one that we talked about, financial health. With the personal protocol work, what we did is, okay, take everything that you love, all the experts, all of the advice, all of the great plans or routines or regimens or whatever, right? And then there was this sense of really empowering yourself, grounding in for what you want in that specific area of your life and making it yours. So that was what we did with personal protocol. April is when everything busted loose with the pandemic. And it seemed like a great month to really hone in on our mental health and well-being and understanding what the heck that even means and practicing self-care. And when I say self-care, I don't mean things like mani-pedi, massage, girls' weekend to a B&B. I'm not talking about that kind of self-care. I'm talking about self-care like self-confidence, setting boundaries, right? Understanding who you are and what you want, right? Being able to ground into who you are. Like that's the kind of self-care that we're talking about here. If you want to go get a manicure, go for it. I mean, maybe not right now, but at some point, right? That's fine. That's not the self-care that we do around here. So mental health and well-being, we really, really talked about understanding how the lengths that we go to take care of our physical health and what would that look like to take care of our mental and emotional health as well. May was a popular month. We talked about time management and productivity, and we're going to actually be revisiting some of that next week. I'll talk about that in just a minute. We did Living Connected and Living Connected Part 2 in the first part of the summer. And this month, we're focusing on freedom in your mind. And what I mean when I say freedom in your mind is understanding those thoughts, those beliefs, and seeing what's spinning and what's churning in your mind. Understanding what it is that you're, like the routines that you're locked into, the patterns, the habits, those mental ruts that you just travel down all the time, the emotional ruts that you travel down all the time. Some people show up to coaching and it's like, I'm always feeling anxious. I'm always feeling stressed, right? This month, when we're focusing on freedom in your mind, it's about getting out of those ruts. It's about creating the space and the clarity to understand how you want to be thinking, how you want to be feeling, how to unchain from what's been going on, and how to cultivate and develop what you want. So August, this seemed like a good month for us to start talking about freedom in our minds, especially as we endure this ongoing pandemic. And as that outside world has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller, the volume keeps getting turned up on that inner world. And it's important that what's being turned up volume wise in our mind and our thinking mind and our gut mind, right? And this unit of our bodies and our souls and our hearts, is that we're creating what we want there. And we're not just traveling down the same old path over and over and over again. So this is a little bit of what the program looks like. When you come into one of these months, like we just finished July, you can see this here, this Living Connected. If you click on this, takes you to a video where I walk through all of the content for the month. There's downloads here. There's a workbook where you can take yourself through the work that I talk through in the video and really apply this to your life. Because again, this isn't a cookie cutter approach. This is about integrating and implementing this into your life and creating transformation for you. This isn't about hanging out with this work and just taking on more self-help and more self-development knowledge. This is about living this and actually creating transformation. So the workbook is designed to take what you learn in the video, because we have to learn some stuff, right? And then really implement it into your life. And then there's a thought inventory journal that's kind of just like a little blank journal for you to have. And then the calendar includes all of the calls. So that is what that looks like. So here's the calendar. This is what we did last month. There were a handful of calls, you know. Anyway, so that's kind of what that looks like. Now, moving forward, I'm going to stop sharing so I can come back and see you and see any questions that anybody has. Moving into August, what I'm super, super excited to share and introduce, and one of the reasons that I wanted to go live with you today and just to remind you about the Fierce Calm Project, show you around a little bit, but we do 2 group coaching calls each month where you can bring any coaching question you've got, anything you're struggling with, and I will bring you on live. I'll be coaching you one-on-one. So you have that direct coaching opportunity at any time, right? We do those twice a month, like I said. But then twice a month, we are introducing what's called a Fierce Calm Talk. And what we're going to be doing in the Fierce Calm Talk is I'm going to be teaching just a little bit on an aspect of the work that we're doing. So I hinted at this earlier. We're doing Freedom in Your Mind this month in August. Our Fierce Calm Talk on Tuesday. So if you are inspired and are curious and want to join in, what we're doing on Tuesday is a Fierce Calm Talk all about freedom with time. Everybody's struggling a little bit, especially as the school year is coming up, especially as some work and, you know, social activities and stuff start opening back up. Everybody's kind of flipping out about time management again and how we're relating to productivity. So we're going to do a Fierce Calm Talk. I'm going to teach just a little bit about how freedom in your mind applies to time. We're going to do just the tiniest of movements. And what I mean when I say the tiniest of movements is I'm going to be introducing some really nourishing, restorative movements, small things you could do sitting in a chair. You could do this sitting on the floor. You'll see I'm usually sitting on the floor. You could do this in bed before you fall asleep. These are all going to be designed to help you release a little bit of tension from your body and to calm your nervous system. So super simple, absolutely no prereqs required for that at all. Tiniest of movements. And then we're going to be doing a short and sweet guided meditation at the end of each Fierce Calm Talk. So you're going to get a little bit of a teaching. If you're familiar with Dharma talks, it'll be similar to what they do with a Dharma talk. A little bit of movement to just ground your nervous system, reconnect with your nervous system, to befriend your nervous system, right? And bring your nervous system on board, calm some of that stress and anxiety, again, using your body. And then we'll do a guided meditation. This just helps us really cultivate that sense of calm, that sense of grounding, that sense of how to stay with our emotions, right? How to handle difficulty, how to handle discomfort. We're going to talk about all of that. So I'm super excited to be introducing that, like I said, starting Tuesday. And then the other thing that we're going to be doing is a book club. So the tagline of our book club in the Fierce Calm Project is books your book club wouldn't read. So if your book club has been reading things like, you know, I think of things like Gone Girl or, you know, really popular books like that, The Nightingale, things that every book club was reading. We're going to read things that are more along the lines of self-development, self-discovery. So that'll be, like I said, it's going to be books your book club wouldn't read. We're only going to do it probably 3 or 4 or 5 times a year. We're going to do it occasionally, just to give everybody plenty of time to grab the books, to read the books, to really be with the books. And as existing Fierce Calm members can attest, I take surveys to see what is interesting to you. What do you want to read? I want to make sure that we're making this what you want. So last super fun newish feature to the Fierce Calm Project is texting. We all have our phones with us all the time. And it occurred to me that the work that we do around anxiety, the work that we do around stress and overwhelm and self-doubt is personal work. This is intimate work, and some of the things that people are working on, and I'll just give you a few examples from current clients and past clients, things that I've worked on, things like getting out of debt and financial health, things like quitting drinking, things like debilitating anxiety that was causing real problems with work, with relationships, with leaving the house. We've talked about relationships, talked about parenting, talked a lot about work around shopping and eating, cleaning up how we're eating, how we're approaching food, how we're thinking about it. We've talked a lot about habits in general, habits specifically, like some of the things we've already talked about here that I just mentioned. We've talked about exercise and movement, and people either really finding a way to move their body that helps them to complete that stress response cycle and boost their mental and emotional well-being, as well as their energy levels and their just overall sense of vitality. So there's all different aspects of this work. There's all different reasons people come into this work and join the Fierce Calm Project. And it occurred to me, like I said, that sometimes people aren't too keen on sharing all of that with a group, which I get. And so I found a fantastic idea, a fantastic service where I can be texting with each of you individually, and you can text me concerns or questions or struggles, and we can have some private one-on-one coaching, just like I said, right in the palm of your hand at any time. And that's been a really, really popular feature. People are loving having that access, that support in a really personal and intimate way. So tell me, what other questions do you have? Let's see here. Okay, here's a good one. I'm hesitant. How much does it cost? Okay, I'll get to that, because I'm hesitant to spend too much money on myself. Okay, this is a great question. Cost, let's talk about this first. Fierce Calm Project is $97 a month. You can also go all in and do the Fierce Calm Project. You can do an annual membership. It's $9.97, so you get 2 months for free if you want to do it that way. And I'll give you the links to both of those options. So it's $97 a month. Like I said, you get all of the content that you saw already, our workbooks, our calls. We do 2 group coaching calls, 2 Fierce Calm talks and meditations. There's additional resources that we didn't even touch on yet. There is the texting, all of that good fun. So it's $97 a month to get started. And what I'm offering right now as a bonus for getting started is a free one-on-one coaching call with me for new members. And this does a couple of things. First of all, we're going to get to know each other one-on-one, which I think is helpful for both of us. I want to know what you're struggling with. I want to know where you're at and what you're curious about, what you're working on, what you want to work on. I want to help you create a plan that you can start putting into action right away. So when you join, you'll get that free one-on-one coaching call. We'll talk for an hour. We'll hop on Zoom and connect that way. And you'll get that when you join. And then we'll do a 90-day check-in. So 90 days after you've joined, I want to check in with you and see, okay, we made this plan. You've been in for 3 months. How's it going? How's it feeling? What's coming up for you? I want to hear, I want to know. So that is one of the fun bonuses that I'm offering for new members right now. So I think that I would love to chat with you. Like I said, one-on-one, get to know you and help you make a personal plan, a strategy for what you're working on. There's also a podcast guide. I'm going to send that out to everybody. Make sure all of the new members that you get the podcast guide. You'll see that's one of the additional resources in the Fierce Calm Project is we have this whole podcast vault, all of the worksheets. And I did worksheets for pretty much at least the first 50 episodes had a worksheet that went with them. So you've got all of those at your fingertips. You've got texting, you've got our new features, the book club and the Fierce Calm Talks with guided meditations. And we're going to be adding more and more guided meditations. So there'll be more and more of those in the resources as we move forward. Let me see what else. Okay, so that answers the question, how much does it cost? And I wanted to explain the bonuses to you. Now, let's talk about being hesitant to spend money on yourself, right? I hear you. And I know that there are some questions, there's some uncertainty right now with what's going on in the world, with this pandemic. I totally get it. I have purposefully designed this program to be as cost effective as possible. I don't know of any other program that you get this much one-on-one support and one-on-one access to me, to a coach, to a certified life coach. I've been coaching almost 10 years. I've been teaching yoga almost that long. And I'm a newer meditation teacher, but it's pretty fun. So I've tried to make it as economical for possible as people. And here's what I want to offer you is we are so quick to spend money on the family, on the kids, on things that we think that we need, that we've been conditioned to, everybody has Netflix, everybody has Amazon Prime, everybody has a brand new smartphone, everybody gets the latest fill in the blank, right? And I invite you to consider this as an investment in yourself, and that this $97 a month is your self-care investment, that this is the cozy corner of the internet where you show up to really love on yourself, to really take care of yourself, to find out about yourself, and that you're getting access. There's a lot of one-on-one support, like I said, from me as your coach. So when you join the Fierce Calm Project, I don't want you to feel like you're a number or just a member of this huge, community where you're going to completely get lost. I want you to know that you get me as your life coach when you join this program. There is a one-on-one connection that I have with all of my people. We have a great community of such amazing women. And I didn't mention that. We have a private online forum as well. So think it's like a Facebook group, but it's not on Facebook. Right? We probably could have gone either way with that, but I needed another Facebook group, not. And a lot of my people have said the same thing. So we do have a online forum. People have posted everything from like inspirational memes to recipes to book recommendations, and we do coaching there as well. People post their coaching questions, their struggles, their ideas, their thoughts, their whatever they've got going on. So there is a private online community forum aspect to the group as well. So yeah, I think it's one of those like really deciding that I always joke that coaching is about teaching people how to be selfish in the best way possible, meaning prioritize yourself first, meaning take care of yourself first so that you can show up in the world as the highest, best version of yourself, right? So how to be selfish, and also just really, truly how to take care of yourself, what that looks like in a world where we've been conditioned to think that self-care means mani-pedis. A lot of us have kind of gone off track with what self-care looks like, right? The advertisers will have you think that self-care looks like wine, boots, skinny jeans, whatever. So yeah, we're not doing that kind of self-care around here. So I hope that helps with the question of I'm hesitant to spend money on myself, and offers you the idea of like I said, the fun bonuses that you get right now, and just what's included in the program in general. All right, let's do another one. Oh, this is a good one too. Okay. Basically, this one comes down to, what if my goals are out of reach? What if my goals are too big? What if it just seems like such an impossibility? So here's what I want to offer with that. everything that I teach is something that I do. None of this stuff is work that I think about or sounds good, or I just, have copied and pasted from somebody else. All of this work is the work that I have done personally to transform my own experience with anxiety, with stress, with overwhelm. It's the way that I have generated self-confidence, that sense of falling in love with myself, of knowing I have my own back, of that knowledge that I do have the ability to create fierce calm for myself. I'm teaching you what I do. So first of all, I love, I have to think you're definitely one of my people, because so many of my people are so sure that they're the worst case and that, they're just too far gone. Their goals are way too out of reach. That ship has sailed. It's just never going to happen. So I love that we have this community because I'm like, here we are, all of us that are too far gone. All of us that are too neurotic, too much of a control freak, too anxious, too overwhelmed, right? Here we all are. And we're hanging out together. And guess what? There's others of us, right? It's one of the best things about this group is there is a sense of community, and there is a sense of you aren't in this alone. And as for your goals, I can tell you the goals that we have working right now. I've got somebody who's creating a multi-six-figure business. That's her goal right now that she's working on. I have a couple that are working on job, like career shifts. I shouldn't just say jobs changes, but total career changes where they're completely quitting one industry and going into a whole different thing. And a couple of those are also starting their own businesses. I have people who are thinking about starting families. We have people who are getting out of debt. We have people who are losing weight. We have people who are committing to yoga and meditation practices. We have people who are going for huge promotions, right? We are doing all kinds of huge, impossible goals. And I want to really, I hope this stays with you, that none of you, none of us, no one here is too far gone. None of your goals are too much, are too outlandish, are too big. None of that. I believe so much already in whatever it is you want for yourself, in whatever it is that you're looking to achieve, in whatever it is you're looking to feel, in whatever it is that you want to show up in the world and do or offer or be, right? So I would like to take you off that hook of this is too much. I'm asking for too much, and really invite you to ask for all of it, because it's all yours and it's all possible. The work that I do, again, is based on the work that I've done myself, and I have taken myself from debilitating anxiety where, I can tell you stories about going to work at 7:30 in the morning, sitting down, having a panic attack, and leaving the office for a couple of days to recover. I can tell you stories about having a panic attack and hyperventilating to the point where I passed out. I can tell you stories about saying no to social events for weeks and months on end because I was too worried about how I was going to feel or how I was going to show up or how I was going to come off. This work is near and dear to me because it's the work that I've done. It is the transformation that I have created in my own life. And it's the transformation that I've seen with hundreds of my clients at this point. And I want to offer you the same thing. I know it's possible. I know it's possible for everybody. I'm certainly not special. I'm certainly not a unicorn where this is concerned. And I will give you everything I've got. So I hope that answers that. Okay, are there any coupon codes to try it out? No coupon codes. Like I said, the bonus right now is free coaching call with me. So you get, I guess that's basically like a $300 coupon code. You're getting a freebie, a free one-on-one hour-long call with me, and a 90-day check-in. So I hope that answers that. Okay, so I'm going to post here. If you are interested in finding out more, first of all, you can hit reply to any of my emails and ask away. And I will be happy to talk with you to answer any questions. I just put in the chat the website. It's kellyhanlonmccormick.com/fierce calm project. If you are interested in joining, you can get enrolled right there, and I will contact you whenever, whether it's this afternoon, whether it's this weekend, whether it's first thing next week, and we will get your one-on-one coaching call scheduled so that we can start things off with, like I said, a solid strategy, a solid plan to get you going right away. So again, it's kellyhanlonmccormick.com/fierce calm project. And if everybody's good, if nobody has any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and close out for today. Like I said, don't hesitate to hit reply on any email you've gotten from me. I would love to chat and answer any other questions that weren't answered here. If you're listening to this on replay, same goes for you. Don't hesitate to reach out, of course, and let me know how I can help, what I can answer. And that's all. So I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. I look forward to welcoming you into the project, and I will talk with you soon. All right, everybody stay safe. Take care. Bye for now.